To start off this project, we had our research note cards that we filled out to give us ideas of what to do, and a Kanban board, and here's what our research cards look like. So at first we were kind of lost on how we're supposed to connect everything, so we looked at other examples that Mr. Fry applied us with, and we looked at how they connected the motor and the wires. Immediately got to the board and started planning out what our final design is going to look like.
So now this part is going to be acrylic right here, and it's going to slide through into this, which is going to be a groove on the inside of the 3D printed box. Now the 3D printed part is only going to be so say this is the bottom, right? And this is going to be holding it up. So from the side, it's going to look like this. And right here, there's going to be like an edge like this to hold the box. And then there's going to be a groove right here, and you can just slide that into the acrylic down into that, and then it'll stay. And then we'll have another piece at the top to connect it all, like right here. And then that'll be our box.
After me and Hannah went over the final plan, I decided to immediately get onto the ArtieWorks, and I started to plan out how we're going to make our prototype. And here is our final prototype. As you can see, when the brush goes back and forth, it's on the motor and it hits the switch causes it to have the motor rotate. So that's why you get the back and forth motion of the brush cleaning. Now that we finished finally with our prototype, we decided to go on to our final build, and this is us on the 3D printer. After on the 3D printer, then we had to cut the bottle because it was kind of really like long. So here's a video of Mr. Fry and I trying to cut the bottle cleaner so it can be able to fit into the part that we're going to be 3D printed so it can fit onto the motor. So after this, I then measured the power switch and also the other switch that's going to be able to have the motor rotate back and forth, because we had to make sure that we had it cut out perfectly in our ArtieWorks. Here's Hannah soldering on the red and black wires, which is basically the power and ground level wires, onto the power switch and the other switch that's going to have the motor rotate back and forth. And as you can see here, it finally worked, and we were able to have basically all the wiring done for this part. Now with all the wiring done, we then proceeded to have our ArtieWorks acrylic printed and the 3D printed bottom, so we were able to fit the motor inside. And here is Hannah just making sure we have everything soldered in together. And after she double checks that everything's soldered, I went ahead and made sure that there's no exposed wires. Now, as you can see here, I am hot gluing the acrylic that's going to be going back and forth on the motor because it was too low, so it wasn't working. And ta-da, here's our final project. As you can see, we have the acrylic printed top that we hot glued the 3D printed bottle holder on, so the bottle can stay on. And then as you can see, that's going to go back and forth as it hits the switch, which the red and black wires are connected to. Then we have our power switch down here, the black thing, and we flick that, which allows it to move. And then as you can see, the motor is underneath the acrylic bottom. Thank you so much.